So now what I'm going to do is take the motherboard out. Again, with the Fractal Design Define S, I can plug it in through the back of the unit since there is that little cutout. But just to show people that may not have that cutout on their PC, I'm gonna go ahead and do it outside of the computer. All right, so now I'm just gonna take off the heatsink that I put in here previously. A Rajan Tech, which actually has been very good. And kind of mounts the same way that this liquid cooling is going to mount. So I'm going to put my hand under here just so that I can easily take the screw out, just so that it doesn't keep spinning. Alright, now that that's out, we're just going to need to go ahead and remove the thermal paste that was there before. And just with a little dab of isopropyl rubbing alcohol, we're going to want to clear this out. Again, the rubbing alcohol goes on the paper towel, not on the CPU. Mind you, it's not going to hurt the CPU if you get it on there. You just want to make sure you don't get it on any other component. Alright, so that's clean. Alright, and again, this comes with a mounting bracket for AMD. I don't have an AMD, so I'm going to set that aside. And these are for Intel. And let's see, and then for my chipset, 1150, so 1150 or 5-X. Just letting you know that it will work on 56, 51, 50, all that good stuff. And well, I don't really need the socket 2011, at least for this board, or processor, so I'll put that aside for now. So I'm going to go ahead, set this one aside, and just start opening this up. Okay, again, this is going to be my back plate for the back of the motherboard. This is going to be the retention mechanism for the actual pump itself, or the cold plate I should say. Some zip ties in case you need them. Comes with some Arctic MX4. If you have your own thermal paste that you know is better than MX4, use it. If you're not exactly sure then that it's good enough or as good as MX4, just use this. Alright. And it comes with a bunch of other little screws and nuts and washers and everything. Just going to bundle them up right over here, out of the way. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and just mount this on the back of the motherboard. So just go ahead and take these off. They have some adhesive right over here. That way you don't need to hold everything in place while you're screwing it in. Great little bonus there. Alright, so I'm just going to lay it flat on its face right over here. Nothing's exposed, so we're good. And then I'm just going to kind of match up the holes here. Actually, the way this board is, because of these little guys, I can't really match it up too well. So I am going to actually have to hold it in place. As I mentioned, I didn't want to do, but it doesn't matter. So just when you lay it flat, lay it closest to you. That way you can see where all the holes are. Perfect. Okay. All right, so here you can see matches here, 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 and here. Let me go ahead and take out the RAM just so that you have better visual. All right, now we're going to take the standoffs for the socket 1150. Again, the chipset I'm using. Just gonna screw them in. There's kind of fit in two ways. Looks like you can put them in either which way. Okay. And I'm just going to, right now, just to put things in place. I'm not going to screw it in all that tight. And plus, you don't want to screw it in too tight and make any indentations on your board. Alright, so it fits in there. Very nice, very snug. And just to make sure, I'm just pushing in on the back plate on each corner just to make sure everything's nice and tight. Good. Alright, now for the thermal paste, they're saying to apply half of the thermal compound in the center of the CPU. Give you not a huge amount, but the fact that they tell you half, just in case you mess up, you have a little bit more. So again, I'm lefty, so I'm trying to stay out of your way so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, that's, I would say, less than half, but this is going to spread even as I apply the heatsink. In the instructions, they tell you to pay close attention to the pump alignment and everything. All right, and they kind of tell you to put it upside down. I really hate putting this pump upside down. They tell you to put it like that. I like the logo to be up front, you know, so that if I look inside my PC, I can see it, but they actually tell you to put it this way. And I'm going to follow instructions just to make sure I do it right. Okay. And then for the little clamp, you kind of just slide it in here. And you turn it so that, let me undo it real quick so you can see. Okay, you can see right here, there are little grooves, and that's going to line into right here. All right, and that's just going to clamp it in place. Again, let me show you. All right, so now it's locked in place. It's not going to go anywhere. Just to make sure you have a nice tight fit. All right, so now we're going to use these thumb nuts that they include in the packaging. All right, we're going to put one on each side. Just going to lay it down here. So then we push it down. Okay, then you can see here. Now it's all the way down. It's pushed in. And now I'm going to use the clamps, or the thumb nuts. I'm going to screw it down here. You don't want to screw it down all the way because then it's going to make it harder to screw in the other ones. All right. All right, and now we're going to use the screwdriver just to make sure they're nice and solid. It'll stop you when it's done. Remember the standoff. Just to show you one of the other standoffs. Remember, so now we're screwing the thumb screw into here, so it'll stop you when it reaches right here. You can't screw anymore. Now, I'm almost done screwing, but I wanted to mention one thing. It may sound stupid, but people have done it. I know people that have done it. I've even done it probably once myself. Take this piece of plastic off before you apply the cold plate to the CPU. If not, you're not going to like the results. But again, just make sure you do that, okay? Just wanted to let you guys know. Now I'm just going to finish screwing this in. Now, I wouldn't say to screw it in till it just doesn't give anymore. Just screw it in so that it feels real tight. All right, so now I'm just going to put the RAM back in. We're done here. One thing you are going to want to do is to plug this 3-pin power for the pump into the one on your board that reads chassis fan, not CPU fan. CPU fan is going to be for the actual fans that attach to this guy. So again, I'll put it under CPU optional. Actually, let's just put it, yeah, CPU optional. Alright, so now we're just going to go ahead and install it inside of the case. Again, the Fractal Design Define S. And well, actually, let's go ahead and pop the RAM back in. If anything, if you don't know how to, this will show you how to install RAM. So you'll notice this little notch right here. This is DDR3. You'll notice this little notch here aligns with this little notch here. It will only fit in this way. It will not fit in this way because the notches don't align. And you'll notice when I push it back in, on this particular board, not all of them have it, this has the little notches right here, or the little levers to lock the memory in place. On this side it doesn't, so the way it wants you to install it here, just make sure it fits in perfectly on one side, push it on that side all the way down, and then on the other side, and you'll see this will lock in by itself. All right. All right, so, well, next step is to take all of this and put it inside the case. All right, guys, so now here's the point where you need some forward thinking. The Fractal Design Define S allows you to put this radiator right here or right here. Now you don't have to put it like this. You can put it like this, though it won't really reach on this side like this. Though you also have the ability with this one to mount it up here in the front. I'm going to go ahead and just mount it up here. Now again, you could put it here or here. I'm going to go ahead and put it here. I have another project coming very soon where I'm going to have to put something here. So that's the part where I said use a little forward thinking. So right here, and I'm just kind of putting it carefully like that. Now, you know, the hoses are still going to work perfectly fine there. Now what you don't want to do with these hoses is squeeze them shut like this, because then, well, liquid can't get through it. Like this, you have plenty of room to move around, and these hoses are flexible, so you'll be good there. And maybe like this. Maybe I do want to put it in the front like this. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to put it in the front just like this. So I'm going to stand it up now, and then you'll see me doing it that way. Again, I'm going to go ahead and put it right up here. So I'm going to take this fan out. Before I can take this fan out though, I need to take off this front panel. In order to do that, right up here, there'll be a little notch, and let me bring you in closer so you can see. There's this little notch right up here that we need to squeeze and push out. So squeeze and push out. Then we need to do the same right up here. Squeeze, push out. Same here. Squeeze and push out. And same up here. Squeeze and push out. Alright, so you'll see this little peg here is pushed in. This little peg here is pushed in. This one and this one. So now we just need to do the same on the other side. Push, squeeze, and push in. Alright, and then squeeze and push in. Right up here, squeeze and push in. Whoops. Alright, it fell out, so, and it fell right on top of my video card. You can see right there. Hopefully that still works. Alright, let's get back on there. Alright, now we have the front of the case. This just kind of slides out, and well, I need to do some dusting. But either way, let's go ahead and take this guy out. Alright, that's out. We'll just leave that in there for right now. I just gotta pry the cable through real quick. I took that fan out of there, and while I took it out, I took the liberty of putting that filter through some water just to clean it out, so it's drying now. So now, and don't worry, you can do that as long as you put it back in dry. Alright. So now I'm going to go ahead and pop this over here just to see how it's going to fit. And it looks like it's going to fit just like this. So if I turn it to the side, you can see here. Now I am a little concerned since it's so tight, no real pulling, or no, it won't fit up there. So just right here is where you can put it. And again, so you can see it from the front, just right there. I'm gonna go ahead and screw that in right now real quick. So you are given the option, push pull through here, push pull out here. I'm going to go ahead and intake that air. So you can see kind of right here, they kind of show you how to do that. So it's going to be, for me, it's going to be like this. Actually, let's say more like that. No, just like that. So I'm going to have airflow going this way. So that means this fan, I'm going to have it, let's say, which way does it blow? I'm going to, if you can see right up here, the little arrow, let me move my light more over here. See the little arrows pointing down and that way? That's how I'm going to put my fans. First off, I'm just going to go ahead and move this guy just out of the way right over here for now. So the way you're going to want to do this is with the fan on the outside. So you're going to put it right out here. Right out here, and just screw them in through the holes right here. See right here? Let me go ahead and lower the camera a little bit. All right, just so you can see everything. All right, and so sliding it through here, you're going to see there's a little tiny nub right up here, and that's where you're going to screw it into the liquid cooling unit. I'll do that for you real quick. That way it kind of lines into place for the rest of the unit. Alright, so you can see right here, it's not screwed in perfectly just yet, but so you can see how it's going to fit. Everything is loose right now just so that I can put the rest of the screws and washers in. So you can see a little bit better how I'm doing it. All right. Alright, so I'm just going to feed all the cabling right through here. And actually, they give you a nice little hole right over here to feed everything through. So just tuck it aside like this and feed it right in through here. And then you could feed it underneath the motherboard afterwards, or actually even down here if you like. See which one would work for me better. Actually, yeah, through the bottom will work for me better. So I'll just feed it down here, and I'll play with that a little bit more a little bit later on. You'll see me, of course. I'll raise it so I can do the second fan. Alright, and I'm going to do it the same way again because this little guy fits down through the bottom. And it will be a pull through the front, push through the inside of the case setup. So now, the way I'm doing it now, well, I'm probably not going to be able to use that front filter anymore, but that's okay. You saw I've had it for a few months, and it really hasn't gotten that dirty. Now, you don't want to tighten these up too much because you're going to pull the threading right out of that liquid cool. So just tight. Just when you start feeling it's giving a lot of tension, don't tighten it anymore. All right, so now we have right up here, see up here, can't see these fans. Now we have room to put these fans in. All right. So again, now that we're doing push-pull, we're going to want to put these fans like this so that it's sucking air through the front, exhausting through the back, then it's going to exhaust throughout the case, and it's going to get sucked up by up here. All right. Alright, and now just move this guy to the side over here, just so that when we put the other fan in there, it doesn't get caught up. Now we'll do the same over here with the very last fan, and we're almost done here. You never know when you're going to run out of room, so always have 2 different types of screwdrivers. Alright, so we're good there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and feed all the cables. And I'll show you in 1 sec. Going to want to feed all the cables through a little hole right over here. I'll do that real quick. Now again, this is just my case. You may want to feed it through a different hole in your case, but just want to show you how I'm doing it. All right, 2 and 2 more to go. And last but not least, all right, so let me zoom out here. Well, actually I can't zoom out. Just raise it up here. All right, so now we have everything up here in the front. I'm gonna go ahead and put the front panel back on. Again, this time there is no filter. There we go. Fits perfectly fine. And surely some room. Yep, there is about a ½ an inch to spare. So now, this is a little tight, but not bad. All right, so now what we're going to do is just really connect all these guys into one single wire. So again, since they did an amazing job here, I'll connect one fan to the other fan to the other fan. Now, I don't have room to come up here to the CPU. Let's see, how am I going to do this? Alright, so the way they want you to do this is they want you to have these cables come up here to the CPU fan. So I've kind of just wasted a lot of my time here. I'm not going to bore you guys with how I undo this, but I'll come back as soon as all this is done again. Okay, it was actually a little bit worse than I thought. So, in order to get everything working properly, I had to turn this fan around, and then do the same for these guys so that I could feed them all through here, and then you could see all the cables coming this way. Mind you, I'm just gonna tuck them away some way possible, or if anything, it's the back of the case, doesn't matter. I'll just close the case. This case is deep enough so that you can close everything and you don't have a big mound sticking out. Pretty nice. Alright, so now I'm just going to pop everything back in. Alright, so just push this in. And now my network card. And now for sure, finally, to put the front panel back into its place. Now we've installed the Arctic Freezer 240 millimeter liquid cooling unit into a machine. You know how to do that now. Mind you, again, you could put it here, you could move it up, put it up here, you could put it here, you could put it here, you could probably put it down here, though this case might not let you, but you know, other cases you can put it even on the bottom as well. And the way I did it was intake, so it's sucking air from the front of the case, or in this case it's sucking air from the sides, blowing it through here. Since heat rises, it's going to go up here, it's going to get sucked out through here. Very soon going to have something else I'm going to be putting back here. I don't want to talk about it just yet. And then maybe I'll introduce some exhaust or some intake along the top. I haven't done that just yet, but that'll be probably coming soon. But anyway, now it's oh, and by the way, I zip tied the cables up here, the ones that I brought up through here, through the little hole up here, and through the back of the PC, fed it through here into the CPU connection. And well, again, I am now going to be doing some testing and let you guys know what the thermals are like on this bad boy. Iggy with Dragon Blogger out. See you guys.